Hello everyone, welcome to GEO TAB 101 training. This video I am going to show you how to activate your GEO TAB electronic device, show you all the options and what you need to know before you start a trip. Now when using any electronic device, there's 3 important things you need to know when using an ELD. First off, when using a tablet or any electronic device, it must be mounted at all times. It should be at a distance where you can extend your hand with your finger and able to maneuver your tablet or electronic device, and where you have visibility to your hours of service. Not on your dashboard, not on your passenger seat, not on the floor. It needs to be mounted at all times. Second, you must carry your ELD manual in your vehicle at all times. Make sure you get with your safety director, your DER, ask for your ELD manual. You need to have it in case you get a DOT inspection on the road. Now remember guys, these DOT officers deal with a lot of electronic devices, so they might not know how to use yours or not know how to transfer your logs either to their email or to their database. So it's very important you carry your ELD manual. That way they can go through it and see and verify how to send your logs to them. Last but not least, you must carry your backup paper logs in case of an ELD malfunction. 8 paper logs minimum. You're not going to use them, but just in case of an ELD malfunction, you will need those paper logs. Now my tablet discharged. My tablet broke. My phone's not working. That is not an ELD malfunction, guys. An ELD malfunction is when your GEO TAB application stopped working. You should receive a ticket, or your DER or safety director will let you know something's wrong with the GEO TAB. And they will send you a ticket. In case you get pulled over, you'll have that proof that there's an ELD malfunction. So 3 main things. Your tablet or electronic device must be mounted at all times. You must carry your ELD manual in your vehicle at all times, and you must carry your backup paper logs. Trust me, DOT will ask you and will look for these 3 main things. And if you fail to maintain either one, they will give you a violation, and it will affect the company's DOT scores. It's very important, guys. If you're using a new truck, make sure that that truck has a mount where you can put your tablet. Look for your ELD manual. If it's not there, request a copy from your DER. Last but not least, you should have your paper logs. Purchase some at any truck stop. You can carry the book with you. Put it in your permit book. Carry your ELD manual and your paper logs in your permit book. So in case DOT asks you for your paperwork, he or she is going to see that you have your ELD manual there and you have your paper logs. The only thing they're going to see is to see at the time of inspection if your tablet or electronic device was mounted. Trust me, they are looking. Now, this is the GEO TAB application, GEO TAB Drive. Let's go ahead and open it up. First thing it's going to ask you is your username. Your DER should provide you with your username. Now, the username can be anything, whatever they provide for you, okay? So we're going to use mine for right now. As you can see, I'm putting an email address. It can be an email address. It can be any type of username. First letter of your name with your last name, whatever username your DER provides. We go to next. Then it's going to ask you for a password. It's whatever password your DER gives you. Make sure you memorize it or you write it down in case you log out and you need to log back in. After you put your password, you can look at what you're putting. If not, let's go ahead and log in. Just put OK. So now what's happening, it's synchronizing all your data. If you're new at this, you're barely going to log in, then you're not going to have pretty much any data. But let's say you've already been using the application, so it's going to synchronize all your logs, okay? All your logs, that way you have access to your previous 14 days. First thing is first. What's going to ask you to select a vehicle. Now I will tell you this, as you can see here, find vehicles. This GEO tab works by Bluetooth. So once you come to this option here, you should have a list of trucks that are nearby you because it's picking up their Bluetooth signal. You're never going to manually enter your vehicle number. If you manually enter your vehicle number, that means if you didn't find your vehicle, that means that the Bluetooth is not working, either on your tablet or on the vehicle ELD. So make sure you never manually enter your truck number. If you want to refresh it, hey, you know what? I didn't see my truck number. Let me go ahead and refresh it. You never know. And it might appear. Now with my demo, since there's no truck around me, I am going to manually enter mine just for the training purposes. That's how it's going to appear. Once you come to this select vehicle, you're going to see these little circles here and with your truck number. And you're going to see various trucks. If there's 5, 10, 20 trucks around you, it will pick up all those trucks. So make sure you look for your truck and you're going to click on this circle right here. That's my vehicle. Now it's going to synchronize. Okay, it's going to connect to the Bluetooth. As you can see here, it says no connection to the vehicle. Why? Because I have no vehicle around me. Okay, but when you are in your vehicle, you're not going to see this here because you're going to connect to the Bluetooth. I had to connect manually. That's why I'm getting no connection to the vehicle. So now I got my vehicle. Here you have your trailers and then you have your shipments. As you can see here, it says no trailers attached. Now if you already have a trailer, they already assigned you a trailer. We go to the plus sign. No trailers attached. If you're bobtail, just click continue if you're bobtail. If not, let's go ahead and search trailers. Let's say you have trailer 100. If someone has already used the trailer 100, it will appear there. But it's saying could not find any trailers matching your search items. Okay? If you see in the bottom, if your trailer's not listed, you can add it. Let's go ahead and add it. Say I'm taking trailer 100. Add. There you go. Now it's going to come up just like you did with your truck. That's the trailer I want to take. 100, continue. So now I got my truck, 100 demo, my trailer, that's the trailer I have, 100. Now my shipments. This is going to be your BOL number. Okay? Either your BOL number or the shipper and commodity, either or. If they already gave you your preload, you already have your bill of lading. Let's go to shipments. This is all before you take off, guys. You're doing this before you even take off, before that truck even moves. Let's go to shipments. As you can see here, shipper name, commodity, or shipping document number. On the right, usually the bill of lading number is always going to be on the right top corner. If you see BOL or shipper number or load number, that's where you're going to put the number here. If you do find that number, you can go ahead and put it there. Now let's say for instance you can't find a number. That's fine. What you can do, you can put the shipper name. Where did that load come from? Where did that load get loaded? Let's say it got loaded in HEB. Commodity, I picked up canned foods. That's it. You don't have to put the shipper number because it's either or. Shipper and commodity or bill of lading number. Okay, either or. If you want to put all three of them, by all means, go ahead. There's nothing illegal about that. As let's say I have my shipping number. All right, I put add. There it is, continue. So now I got my truck number, my trailer number, and my BOL number. Why is this very important? I get pulled over by DOT. That's one other thing they're gonna check, your form and manner. They're gonna check that you have your truck assigned, your trailer assigned, and your bill of lading or shipping documents. Now let's go to save and continue. I made sure, yes, that's my truck. That's the truck I'm connected to. That's the trailer I'm taking. And that's my BOL number. Save and continue. Now, you will get this. Usually after your first trip, if you forgot to verify, you're going to see these right here, verify. What does verify means? That means to sign your logs electronically. So every day, at the end of the day, you're going to verify your logs. It's an electronic signature. So please make sure you verify your logs daily. DOT looks at your previous 7 days and they see that you haven't verified yesterday's log or the day before, they will give you a violation. So make sure all you have to do is just click on verify. Okay, you're going to see here all the dates I haven't verified. Why? Because I've been off duty. I can either skip or I can verify all days. They say, you know what, I was off. I'm going to verify that I was off all those days. So instead of going one by one, I'm going to go to verify all days. I hereby certify that my data entries and my record of duty status for each listed 24-hour period are true and correct. Agree? Yes. So I have already signed all my previous 7 days in just one click. So now after I selected my vehicle, my trailer, and my shipping documents, now it took me to my DVIR, my driver vehicle inspection report. This is what I'm going to do when I do my pre-trip before I take off on my load. Okay. Once I click certify and inspect, you're going to get all this information. Now, it's saying certify previous inspection. What's happening is that, hey, someone might have had your truck before. So now you want to verify if that previous driver found anything wrong with your vehicle before you get on. If there's nothing was there, you're going to certify previous inspection. Now it says you have been placed on duty. Automatically, you will be placed on duty once you put certify and inspect. Now, if you remember on paper logs, on the back of your paper log, you're going to see all this, what you need to check off for your pre-trip inspection, right? You don't have to be clicking on each one. You're only going to click on one if you found something wrong with it. You see lights and reflectors. Did you find one cracked or broken, improperly aimed, inoperable four-way flasher, and etc.? But I didn't find nothing wrong. Select the inspection type. Was it a pre-trip, in-trip, or post-trip? In-trip, you're never going to do in-trip. It's always going to be pre-trip and post-trip. So we're going to go to pre-trip. Now some might ask, how much time do I need to do my pre-trip for? Now, we're all used to 15 minutes minimum, right? Why? Because a paper log was only in increments for 15 minutes. So I always recommend a minimum 15 minutes. Not 15, not less than 15. I say minimum. Why? Because it can be more than 15 minutes. It all depends how long it takes you to do your pre-trip. Okay? Minimum 15 minutes. It'll tell you your inspection. Well, as you can see, y'all know where I live now. Okay? Now it says here no defects. If you found nothing wrong, we go to no defects. I didn't check anything off, so I go to no defects. This vehicle was inspected in accordance with regional and or federal regulations. Yes. So now it says inspection complete. Now just remember, you're still on duty. So you already did your pre-trip on your truck. Now you need to do your DVIR on your trailer now. Inspect. You're still on duty. So that's what you have to be checking for your trailer. It's still part of my pre-trip. If you didn't find anything wrong, we go to no defects. Are you sure? Yes. Inspection complete. I inspected my truck and my trailer. As you can see here, I'm in my dashboard. Here's my name. If you click on your name here, it says there, I'm on duty, ON. This is where I can log out. And this is where I can add a driver. In case you're a team driver, this is where you're going to add your team driver here. You're not going to be logging in and out every time. No, all you have to do is add your driver here. I'll be creating another video on how to add your team driver. Okay. So right now we're in our dashboard. HOS means hours of service. DVIR, that means new inspection. This little truck here, that's where you're gonna verify your information. Your truck, your trailer, and your shipments. Okay. Inspection. This is the option you're gonna use when you get pulled over and DOT is gonna give you a roadside inspection. This is specifically for that. Settings, it's very rare you're gonna use settings. Okay. So as you can see down here, you have HOS, which is that one, DVIR, which is this one, and then more. We'll go through each one just to make sure we know what they all are about. We're going to use HOS at the end because that's going to be the main option you're going to be using. That's where you're going to be in HOS. So we'll skip that one for right now. We're going to skip DVIR as well because we already did our pre-trip inspection, so we don't have to click on it anymore until we do our next pre-trip or post-trip inspection. Okay. Here, let's click on this little truck here. As you can see here, truck number, trailer number, and my shipments. Everything's correct. That's called assets. Let's go back. Let's go to inspection. Here, anytime DOT asks you for your logs or let me see your tablet, it's very important you go in DOT inspection mode before you give them the tablet, he or she. Now, it gives you an option. Would you like to enter a 4-digit PIN? If you enter a PIN, you must enter the same PIN to exit inspection mode. What is this PIN for? This PIN is for when you enter inspection mode, the officer would not be able to exit your DOT inspection mode and start, roaming around your tablet or your logs, because you're already in DOT inspection mode. All he needs to do is check your logs and verify what he needs to check. Okay. If you want to put a PIN, by all means, put a PIN. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. Set PIN. It's going to ask for it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Confirm PIN. Okay. Now it says here, enter officer code or comments. Usually, sometimes the officer will ask you, hey, send me your logs to this code. Okay. And it will get sent to Washington, and from Washington it will get sent to them. They'll know who exactly it belongs to. You got 3 options. If he gives you his email address, see it says transferring. You can do through web services. But usually before you do that, you're going to enter a code here. Okay. Now, if he just wants to see them manually, and then that's when you go to compliance sprint. And this option, it's going to pull all your information, your date, carrier information, your name, what hours of service you're using, your driver license information, your engine hours, your current odometer reading, truck number, VIN number, license plate number, shipping number, your bill of lading number, any unidentified driving records. Very important. If you've been driving without being connected, well, guess what? It's going to appear here that you have some driving events that you haven't identified, that you've been driving illegally, or etc. Okay? Then it has your company address. Now it has your graph. It's going to show the officer what you've done that day on your graph. Then everything you've done. As you can see, we've done our pre-trip already, so that's going to end up coming out. I've only done unassigned logs, no logs to display. So I've been good. Okay. Go all the way up. As you can see, it's for the 11th. He can look at my log for yesterday. Now remember, how many days can he check? 7 days. So once you go to DOT inspection mode, well, guess what? He or she can only go to August the 4th. 7 days only. When you go into DOT inspection mode. See, when it's in green, that means I verified my log. Anytime you see your graph in green, that means you signed your log electronically. Okay? So let's say I go back and I want to exit. Now the officer's going to be like, oh, it's asking for a PIN. Never mind. Okay? Because that PIN's for you. It's not for the officer. He's only going to be checking your previous 7 days. He's going to check for any form and manner or any hours of service violations. Okay? No more than 7 days. Now we can go to exit. Now you can put your code in there. Continue. There we go. Now it took you back to your dashboard. Now let's go to more down here. The only option pretty much is dark mode. In case you're driving at night, you can put in dark mode. Okay? You're driving throughout the day, take off the dark mode, and you're good. Okay? You also have your assets here in your inspection mode for DOT. But you can just go to your dashboard. Okay? And you have it there, inspection. If we go to settings, in case something's going wrong with your tablet or the GEO TAB app, usually the only reason I'll tell you to go to settings is just to check for updates. Sometimes I just need a little refresher, so just check for updates. And sometimes, majority of the time, it'll fix the problem with your GEO TAB. Okay, let's go back. So we got your HOS hours of service, DVR, new inspection, your assets. This is where your truck, your trailer, and your shipping documents go. Inspection mode for DOT, and then your settings. So you can see here, I'm still on duty. Let's go ahead and open up our hours of service. Now, as you can see here, it's in blue because I'm still on duty. You're always going to be in status. Always. Why? That way you can see what your duty status is, and so you can see how many hours you have left for your hours of service. So we'll go one by one. You have your status, logs, and options. Let's start off with status. You'll see this bar right here. This bar is going to start changing color. It's going to keep on going down until you're already going to be in violation. 1 hour before your time is up, you're going to get a little notification. Hey, you're nearing a violation. Start looking for a place to park already. Now just remember, the ELD goes by seconds. If you go over by 1 second, you will be in violation. So always leave some time as a reserve, and I'll explain why. So you'll start seeing this blue. It's going to start turning. Once it gets here to an hour left, it'll turn red. As the time here as well will start going down. Here I got 7:50 left, and I'll explain to you what that means. So you got your rest in, 7:50. This little coffee cup right here, that's for your 30-minute break. This number right here is always going to match with one of these here because it's going to let you know what's going to be your first violation. Okay, so 7:50 left, it's already letting you know, hey, you're going to need to take your 30-minute break. Okay. Driving left, obviously, we have the 11-hour driving time. I still have 11 hours driving because I haven't drove yet. Workday left, that's my 14-hour on-duty time. Okay. I have 14 hours of on duty. Within those 14 hours, I can drive my 11 hours. Remember, the 30-minute break every 8 hours that I work and drive, including I have to take a 30-minute break off duty or sleeper berth. Okay? Now I tell everybody, do not wait till the last second. Do it within time, your 30-minute break. If your 11-hour driving is already up, start looking for a place to park. So, for instance, let's say I have 11 hours of driving. I always recommend take it as you only have 10 hours of driving. Why? Because you leave that extra hour as a reserve. That way you have that hour to look for a parking spot. Okay, as you all know, it's hard to find a parking spot, right? Truck stop, rest areas, they're going to be packed. So always leave that hour of extra to find that parking. Now, you might have a question. What if I don't find parking and my hours are up? We'll get to that right now, which would be part of the personal convenience. Okay? So just be patient. So we got my 14 hours. And then I got my cycle left, which is my 70 hours. So this is my 30-minute break, my 11 hours of driving, my 14-hour window, and my 70 hours. Then you got these two options right here, view cycle recap and view exemptions. My view cycle recap, that's going to let you know how many hours you have worked and driven daily. Okay, for you that know how to know about the recap, if by the 8th day that you've been working, you have not gone over your 70 hours, by the 9th day, you're going to start recapping. He'll start giving you the hours, your total hours of driving and on duty, which is lines 3 and 4. It'll give you those hours you had on day 1 on your 9th day. But remember, you cannot go over your 70 hours within your 8th day. If not, the recap will not work. Then you would have to do your 34-hour reset for over the road. As you can see, I have only 1 day because we just started our log. You can hide the cycle recap. Now, let's view exemptions. Exemptions. We have 3 exemptions. Adverse driving conditions. What is adverse driving conditions? Adverse driving conditions is in case you had no idea or no knowledge, or the dispatch had no knowledge that there is going to be a tornado that's going to hit where you were driving through, a hurricane, heavy snow, an accident. That's when an adverse driving conditions can be applied. Hey, I'm going through Houston. It's around 5 o'clock. Usually traffic there. Can I use adverse driving conditions? No. You cannot use adverse driving conditions due to traffic, because that is not adverse driving condition. That's normal conditions there. Now, if there's traffic because of an accident, then yes, by all means. Always be very specific on why you will apply your adverse driving conditions. Don't just put their accident. Always recommend be in detail. Accident on I-10, mile marker 35, etc. Always be specific. The more specific you are, the easier it will be when you get pulled over for an inspection or an audit. It makes it easier for the auditor to see what was going on, and won't get the assumption that you're cheating the log. Why? Because what does adverse driving conditions do? It extends your hours of service by 2 hours. Okay? Now, it has to be within the 14-hour window. It will not extend your 14 hours. Okay? It just gives you that 2 hours extra within your 14-hour window. Let's say you lost 2 hours, but you still within your 14-hour window, it'll give you those 2 extra hours. Yard move. What is a yard move? Yard move, to explain it to you, is this exemption puts you on duty. Let's say you're at a warehouse, you're unloading. You're already on duty because you're unloading while you're on duty. And then they tell you, hey, can you move to the other dock so they can unload the other part? Well, okay. But let's say you don't have no more driving hours. Let's say your driving time was already up. And if you move the truck, you already know more than 5 miles per hour, it's going to put you on driving, and it's going to put you on violation for whatever time period you drove the truck to the next door or the next dock. In that case, I can activate my yard move. It will put me on duty, and I can move the truck, and it will not put me on driving. It will not put me in violation because I am within the warehouse. Okay? Same thing, you're in the yard. Okay? You're doing your post trip. You need to move the truck. You can activate your yard move. Obviously, you're not going to use your yard move to get to a destination or to advance a load. Yes, it'll put you on duty, but what happens is it doesn't affect your driving time. But obviously, it will affect your 70 hours. Okay, so yard move is only when you're in a warehouse and you have to be moving around in there. So that way you won't see your log going to driving on duty, driving on duty. That way it just stays on duty while you move the truck and unloading. Because you're still working. Technically, you're still working. Okay? Now, I'm already off of, I'm already out of my 11 hours, but can I drive or work beyond my 14? Remember, the 14-hour rule says you cannot drive past your 14 hours. It does not say you cannot work. Okay? You can work past your 14-hour rule, but you just cannot drive. Yes, you are driving, but we're activating the yard move because you're in the warehouse. Okay? Personal conveyance, PC. Okay? When is PC allowed to be used? I'm going to be real simple. Personal conveyance, you cannot use it to get to your destination. PC, you cannot use it to get closer to your next pickup. Okay? PC can only be used, for example, you parked at a hotel. You know what, I'm going to stay at a hotel. But you know what, I'm going to go grab some dinner, or I'm going to go wash some clothes. And your truck is the only form of transportation. Well, you can activate your PC to go have dinner, go wash clothes, do what you need to do. But you have to return back to where you activated your personal conveyance. You cannot activate your personal conveyance to go to Walmart, and then from Walmart, you took off to wherever you're heading. No. Why? Because then that means you're using it to advance your load. Okay? So make sure, it's very important, you know how the PC can be used. There will be some situations where that PC will have to be used due to that there's no parking. For example, you get to the warehouse where you delivered, you unload it. Hey, I need to do my 10-hour break here. But then they tell you, hey, you cannot stay here. You got to move out of here. Hey, but I cannot move. I'm going to do my hours. No, you cannot move or I'll call the cops. Okay? You can activate your PC to go look for a safe haven to do your 10-hour break. Okay? Or vice versa. Security guard made you move. You got there at the side of the road. He tells you, hey, you need to move. Obviously, you have no hours. Okay? I'll activate my PC and move to another parking area. Okay? You get to a truck stop. Same thing. You find a spot. You think it's fine. 5-6 hours later, you get a knock on the door. And they tell you, hey, you need to move or you get a ticket. Okay. Let me activate my PC. Officer made me move. Had to look for another safe haven or parking. And that's fine. That way it doesn't break your 10-hour break. But if you're using it to get closer to your next pickup or your delivery, let's say you already had 8 hours of sleeper berth, and the last 2 hours you activate your PC, supposedly you're looking for a safe haven, obviously you're getting closer to your next pickup or delivery. So be very careful on how you use that PC. Okay? So you got your adverse driving conditions, your yard move, and your personal conveyance. As you can see, I'm still on duty. Just going to go ahead and hide these exemptions. So we got status. Like I said, you're always going to be in this option status, so you can see, so you can change your duty status and you can see how many hours you have left. Now, what is logs for? Logs for is so you can see today's date. I can go back. I'm going to show you one thing, guys. You see, August 4th is 7 days. But you know what? I can still continue going 14 days. So you're able to view 14 days on your log. Okay? Now, am I going to show the officer my previous 14 days? No. I only have to show him 7 days. That's why it's very important. I can go to dashboard and I go to inspection mode. Because once you go in inspection mode, it's only going to show him 7 days. Not your 14. That's what's very important. You activate your inspection mode when you're going to show your logs to your tablet to the officer. Okay? As you can see here in logs, I can view my more than 7 days. If you give him the tablet just like that, well, guess what? He's going to see all your 14 days. Now, is that illegal? No. By regulation, they only need to see 7 days. Now, can they see more than 7 days? Yeah. If you give them access to your logs more than 7 days, yes, they can revise and they can give you a violation if they find something wrong. Okay, so it's very important. Activate your inspection mode. So let's go back to today's date. As you can see here, you're going to see your graph, and you're going to see what you've been doing. As you can see here, we did our pre-trip, and it shows here how long I've been on my pre-trip already. 22 minutes. Okay. So you want to see how long you've been on duty, just go to logs, and you'll see right there. Anytime you change the duty status, when you go to logs, it's going to appear right here. We'll show you that right now. Okay. Options, like I said, we're never going to use options. Okay. It's just status and logs. Status and logs so you can see what you're doing. And so you can verify your logs. This is where you're going to verify. Let's say it's already 12 minutes, right? Hey, you know what? I'm already going to call it a day. Then you can verify because you already know you're not going to work for the period of the remainder of the day. Okay. If you already know if it's already 4 o'clock, it's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, I'm going to do my 10-hour break until the morning. Then you can verify because you already know you're not going to work anymore. So you can verify your log. Now, do you want to verify your log at 8 o'clock in the morning? No, because you're still going to work throughout the whole day. So you want to verify your logs once you know that you are no longer going to work or drive. My day is done. I've already added everything. Everything's good. Now I can verify. Okay. Let's go back to status. So I did my pre-trip. I'm good to go. Now, as you may know, when that truck moves more than 5 miles per hour, it's going to put you on driving. Okay. Obviously, in this demo, in this training, I'm going to have to manually put myself on driving. Okay, just for this purpose. But you don't have to be clicking on the D. Because once that truck moves more than 5 miles per hour, automatically, it's going to jump to drive. Mark Gutierrez is now driving. You want to add an annotation? If you want to add a note saying driving, go ahead. But obviously driving, D means driving. So we already know D is for driving. Now if I go to logs, you're going to see I'm already in D right here. Driving. Okay, I already picked up my location, the time, so you don't even have to put where you at or anything like that because it's going to pick it automatically. Okay. That's the good thing about this. It'll pick it up automatically. Let's go back to status. So I'm driving. Now this example, pretty much this example I'm going to give you is like when I'm going northbound on the load and then southbound back home. Okay. So I'm driving here 5-6 hours later. You know what? I want to do my 30-minute break. Okay. So I get close to past Houston. I'm going to do my 30-minute break. I get to a truck stop. Before you get off the truck, don't forget to either put yourself on off duty or sleeper berth, depending on what you're going to do. If you're just going to jump in your sleeper, and then click on sleeper berth. If you're going to get off the truck, then click on off duty. Why? What happens if you just leave it like that and you get off your truck? After 5 minutes, automatically, it's going to jump you to on duty. You're going to think that you're already doing your 30-minute break. Well, guess what? You've been on duty for more than 30 minutes. So it's very important. Before you get off the truck, click on off duty. Mark Gutierrez is now off duty. Add a notation. You can add it from here, or I can just go to logs. Now, if you notice, anytime you put yourself on off duty or sleeper berth, you're going to get an extra line. It's going to tell you rest duration. It's going to let you know how much time you've already been on off duty or sleeper berth. Okay. So just remember, 30-minute break means 30 minutes straight. Okay. I always recommend everybody to wait a minute or two after 30 minutes. So wait 31 minutes or 32 minutes to make sure that it gave you that 30-minute break. Okay. The last thing you want is to think that you had your 30 minutes, but you only had 29 minutes with 58 seconds. And you took off and didn't give you that 30-minute break. So what's going to happen? You're going to have to do another 30-minute break. Okay? So pay attention to your rest duration to let you know how long you've already been off duty. Okay? So now, Mark, when it says out there, add a notation, what notes do I have to put? Do I have to put for everything? I'm going to eat, I'm going to shower, I'm going to, etc. No, it's going to be the basic, guys. Basics for on duty, pre-trip, post-trip, loading, unloading, fuel. Those are your basics. DOT inspection. Those are your basics for on duty. Off duty. You don't have to be putting, oh, gonna get off and eat or etc. The only one I recommend for off duty, put your notes for your break. Okay? So right now I went off duty for my break, so I go to logs. How can I add my notes? Let's say I forgot to put annotation. You go here, you look for your off duty. I just click on my off duty there. I go all the way down, add annotation. I'll put here, break, save. If I go down here, there's my note, break. Okay? So let's say you forgot to put your notes on some of them. You can always go back to logs and look for your duty status. Okay, I forgot to put something here, and I can click on there. Okay? Now I go back to status. As you can see there, I already have 2 minutes of off duty. So let's just pretend we did our 30-minute break. Now we can take off. Do I have to put myself on driving? No. Just take off on the truck and automatically it'll put you on driving. Once you leave off duty or sleeper berth, that rest duration is going to disappear. Okay? Now, if you didn't do your full 30-minute break, you're going to see that this time right here is still going to match with your 30-minute break. That means letting you know, hey, you didn't do it, so you still have to do it. Okay? So I keep on driving for the remainder of the day. 6. I got about 4 hours left of driving. You know what? I need to put fuel. I didn't want to put fuel there where I stopped for my 30-minute break because first, one, maybe there was a big old line and maybe the fuel was expensive, right? Or whatever it is. I don't like that truck stop. I just stopped there just to do my 30-minute break. But you know what? This truck stop's pretty big. Here, I'm going to go ahead and do my fuel. And might as well do my 10-hour break here. Because by the time I get there to the truck stop, my 11-hour driving should be done already. So I get to the fuel island. As you know, for fuel, we put ourselves on duty. You can automatically put add annotation, so it can take you straight to the notes. Or you can just go to logs and click on the AC. The on duty is already here. Add annotation, fuel, and save. There it is. 11:53. There's my fuel. You can go back to status. Obviously, you're going to be on duty until you finish. Okay. Now you can go and find a parking. You got your ticket. You can find your parking to do your 10-hour break. Anytime you're doing your 10-hour break, always use your sleeper berth. Don't put yourself on off duty. Remember, what's the difference between off duty and sleeper berth? They both were going to reset you. But off duty is because you're outside of your truck. SB means sleeper berth. That means that you're in your sleeper sleeping. Okay, that's the only difference. So I always recommend your 10-hour break, use your SB. So let's go ahead and put our SB here. It says mark is not in sleeper berth, add annotation. So SB means sleep, so we already know you're sleeping. Okay, so you don't have to add a note for that. Because it's obvious. SB is for sleep. There's my rest duration. I got 0.00. Now you just wait there for your 10-hour break. Now, don't do 9 hours and 45 minutes of sleeper berth and then you do your pre-trip 15 minutes equals 10. No. What's going to happen, you're going to break your 10-hour break. Now, guys, if you're doing your 10-hour break or your 34-hour reset, make sure you're not moving the truck. If that truck moves, well, guess what? It's going to put you in driving and you're going to cut your 10-hour break. Remember, your 10-hour break is so you can sleep. Now, I understand. Hey, I can't sleep. No one sleeps for 10 hours. I understand that. Okay? But don't be moving your truck while you're doing your 10-hour break. You shouldn't be moving your truck. You should be resting. Whether you're sleeping or not, you should be resting. That truck shouldn't be moving while you're doing your 10-hour break. Okay? Now, legally, you have to show at least a minimum of 8 hours that you slept straight. Okay? The last 2 hours, you can do them off duty. Or you can do your full 10 on sleeper berth. Okay? But you have to show a minimum of 8 hours on sleeper berth. So now, I did my 10-hour break. Now before I take off, I have to do my pre-trip. Okay, so I did my 10-hour break. I'm gonna do my pre-trip. What do? I put myself on duty, right? Now here I'm gonna go directly here, add annotation. I can put here pre-trip right there. Okay, pre-trip, save. Now it's very important. Anytime you do your pre-trip, you gotta register your driver vehicle inspection report every time you do your pre-trip or post-trip. So I went on duty to do my pre-trip. I'm gonna go to DVAR, certify and inspect. Same thing that you did in the very beginning. Certify pre inspection. This is what you're supposed to be inspecting for your truck. It's still my pre-trip. I found no defects. Are you sure? Yes. Inspection complete. Now I'm going to do for my trailer. Same thing. Certify previous inspection. Whoever had it before, which is me, was nothing wrong. Okay, I checked all that. I checked the brakes, doors, landing gear, lights and reflectors, other tires, wheels and rims. Everything's good. It was my pre-trip. No defects. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. So now I registered my DVAR. Now I can go back to HOS. If I go to logs, here it is. I did my pre-trip and I certified. I did my pre-trip in 1 minute. Okay. So I always recommend put yourself on duty and then get off your truck and do your pre-trip. Okay. That way, obviously, your time is running on your ELD for your on duty. So click yourself on duty and then get off and do your pre-trip. Okay. That way, it won't show that, hey, shoot, I only did my pre-trip for 1 minute. So I go back to status. Now I did my pre-trip. Now I can just take off. I don't have to put myself on driving because automatically it's going to put me on driving. Obviously, for this training, I'm putting myself manually. Okay. So I'm driving, same thing. It's just going to be the same thing, same routine. After 6-7 hours, 5 hours, all depends on how y'all want to do it, guys. If you want to do your 30-minute break within the first 5, first 6, first 7, I never recommend doing it within your first 2 hours. Why? If you do your 30-minute break within the first 2 hours, guess what? You're probably going to end up working another 8 hours, so you're going to have to take another 30-minute break. So that's always recommend, always between 4 to 6 hours, do your 30-minute break. Okay? Same thing. I get to a truck stop. I go off duty. Remember, put yourself off duty. Don't forget. Because if not, after 5 minutes, it's going to put you on duty automatically. Okay? I go to logs. Here's my off. I go down to add my annotation. Break. Save. Here's my notes. Okay? Now I can go back to status. Rest duration. Like I said, anytime you put yourself off duty or sleeper berth, that extra line's going to come out so you can see how much time you've been already resting. Okay, now sometimes you'll do your 30-minute break and you're going to put fuel at the same time. Hey, that's fine. Okay, you can knock 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, after you do your 30-minute break, okay, then you can go over to the fuel island. Okay, now if you want to activate your yard move, because you might be at a parking spot, right? And you're going to go to the fuel island and you just want to use your yard move, by all means, go ahead. Okay, so I already did my 30-minute break. Then I go to on duty to do my fuel. Add annotation, right? Now, I'm just going to use this as an example that I forgot to put my notes. Okay, I forgot to put fuel as my notes. That's fine. I put fuel, got my ticket. Now I'm going to take off. Automatically puts me on driving. Take off. I get to my destination. Okay? Now, it's always going to differ. Maybe they'll be ready for you, as you say, or maybe your appointment's not till the next day or till later on. Okay? So I get there, I already know they're not going to receive me. So I'm going to put myself on SB. Right? I'm going to call it a day. I already know my appointment's not for tomorrow. I got here early or whatever it may be. Okay? Now, you remember, I forgot to put my note for fuel. Okay? You can just go back to logs. where did I put fuel? And like I said, your locations are going to be changing. Obviously, I'm in the same location. That's why I have the same location. So let's say this location, okay, this is where I put fuel. I forgot to put my notes, right? Just click on the on duty there. Go down, add a notation, put fuel. Save. There you go. Perfect. Okay, as you can see, it's already jumped to August the 12th. Okay. Now, it says here, you have logs that require action, unverified. Since you already jumped to the next day, now it's asking you, hey, are you going to verify your log? Are you still working? Now, I already put myself on sleeper burst. So I already know my appointment's not for 8 o'clock in the morning. So my day for yesterday is already done. Now, I can either go back and verify it, or I can wait till before I take off from where I unload. But you know what? Before I go to bed, that way I won't forget. Let me just make sure I verified everything. Everything's good. All my notes are in there. Everything's good. So now I'm going to verify. Are you sure? I agree. Boom. Everything turned green. That means it's verified, and you see the thumbs up. Verified. Now I go to August the 12th. Now I don't get that little notification that I have unverified logs. So now we're good. So if I take off in the morning, my log has been verified for the previous day. Okay. Now, this is going to happen. Now, when you're parked, you want to, mess with the tablet, or you're doing whatever and you take it off the mount, that's fine. If you're in the sleeper berth or you're off duty, that's fine. The only times it has to be mounted is when you're driving. If you're driving that vehicle, that tablet needs to be mounted. Okay? So let's say you grab the tablet and by accident, you're doing your 10-hour break, right? And you already have 8 hours on sleeper berth, or 7, whatever it might be. And by accident, you clicked on this button by accident. Oh, shoot. And you put yourself back on the sleeper berth. But what happened? Look, it put me back on 0. Man, I lost all my 8 hours of sleeper berth. Now what do? Anytime you manually change your duty status by accident, you can edit your log. Now, the only thing you cannot edit is automatic driving time. You cannot edit it. It will not let you. Okay? So let's say my rest duration was 0. I go to logs, and you're going to see here, I was already sleeper berth for 2 minutes. I went on duty. Now it gave me back to 0. Damn it. Okay, now I'm going to see here. Okay, here's the on duty. This is where I made my mistake. I clicked on duty. Did I do it by accident? It's going to say here, manual driver log. That means you're the one that manually entered on duty. If it did it by itself, it's going to say automatic driver log. That means that after 5 minutes, you didn't put yourself off duty or sleeper berth, and it automatically puts you on duty. But here's telling you you're the one that did it. Now, can I change? Can I edit that? Yes. Why? Because it was a manual driver log. It was your error. So what do? I go here, the on duty. I click on the little pencil. I'm going to put it back to SB. Now, would it let me save it? No. Why? Because it's asking you to add an annotation. As well as this, always be real specific on why you're editing this log. Here, it's going to be simple. Finger, error, and save. Now what happens? You see that on duty? It changed to sleeper berth. If I go back to status, alright, it gave me my time back. That was a close one. I thought I was going to have to do another 8 hours again, plus the 2, another 10. So I was going to be almost a reset there, right? Well, not really, right? But, so, yes, you can edit a manual driver log. Let's say by accident you click on the driving. As you can see, it disappeared. Oh, man. And I put myself back on sleeper. It took all my time away again. Same thing. If you manually clicked it by accident, I can go to logs. Here's the error I did. I click on the driving. Was it a manual? Yes, it was a manual driver error. So I go to the pencil. Put myself back on sleeper berth. Add a notation. Again. Finger error. Save. There we go. Put me back on sleeper. If I go to status, awesome. It gave me my time back of sleeper berth. Okay. Only when you did it by mistake, guys. If you move the truck and it put you on driving, guess what? That's an automatic driving event. You cannot edit that. It will not even let you. Okay? You can try it. It will not let you. Okay? So, it's already in the morning. If you're already there at the warehouse and, hey, move into the dock. Remember, like I said, if you're already there in the warehouse, instead of, so that way it won't put you on driving and then on duty, I go to view exemptions. I'm going to activate my yard move. It's going to ask, you must enter an annotation. I'm going to put here, unloading. Apply. Now what happens? You see, anytime you apply a yard move or a personal conveyance, your circles are going to turn gray. So that means you can move the truck and it's not going to move your duty status. Why? Because you activate your yard move. If I go to logs, I'm in yard move, on duty. Remember, yard move puts you on duty. Personal conveyance puts you on off duty. Okay? I have my notes there. Yard move expansion, unloading. Okay? As you can see there, on duty, yard move. I'm unloading. So it's already unloaded. So it's very important. Don't forget to, once you unload, don't forget to put stop. Last thing you want is to take off and then you're still in yard move. Well, guess what? You're going to stay on duty all that time you left. Okay, so make sure you stop it. Or vice versa, if you already parked in the dock, you already moved in there, just put stop. What's going to happen? It's going to leave you on duty como quiera. It's going to leave you on duty anyways. Okay, if you go to logs, you see, you stayed on duty. So yeah, you already parked in the dock, back to the dock, just put stop. That way you won't forget when you take off, you're not going to still be on that yard move extension. Okay? If you need to move to another dock, you just activate your yard move again. Go to status, view exceptions, activate your yard move again. Okay? Let's put that in and out, moving to dock, whatever, door B12 or whatever it may be, because you're there in the warehouse. Okay? So I unload it. They gave me my bill of ladings. Now I'm going to take off. They already dispatched me. They already had a load ready for me, so I'm going to go pick up my next load, right? So I already unload it. I go to drive. Like I said, automatically it'll put you on driving. Let's say my pickup was like 10 miles away. Perfect. Okay. I get there, they're already ready for me. I go on duty. Okay. If you get there early, guys, and they tell you, hey, no, your load's not going to be ready to whatever, take advantage of it. Either put yourself on off duty or sleeper berth. Okay. But if they're already ready for you, hey, back up to the dock. I back up to the dock, put myself on duty. Add a notation. Now I'm going to put loading, right? See, it says loading or unloading, but I want to make it easier. That way they know that I'm loading, not, okay, are you loading or unloading, right? So just loading. View log. You can view log, or I can just go to log here. There it is. On duty, loading. Here I unload it. Now I'm loading here. Okay. Now remember, before we left, we put our shipping documents. That was for my northbound load, right? So now, obviously, you're gonna have a different bill of lading number or different load. So I'm gonna show you that right now. So I'm on duty. They gave me my bill of ladings. Now I revise my bills, and now I gotta register my southbound load now, right? So here I go to dashboard. I go here where it says truck, or the little truck here, shipments. Now I'm gonna add another shipment. Okay. Now if you find the bill of lading number, let's put the bill of lading number. Add. Continue. So now you have your northbound bill of lading. Now you have your southbound bill of lading. Easy as that. Now let's say you get to a facility where you did a drop and hook. Okay, well, you just go to trailers. You can take away that trailer and then you add another trailer. Always update your bill of lading numbers. Okay, trust me, man. These DOT, they see you're not putting your shipping documents. Your log could be beautiful. But then they see, hey, you didn't put your ability number. Boom. They'll give you a violation for that. Okay. So now I added my southbound load. Go back to HOS. I already put my ability number. Now I take off. Put me on driving automatically. Okay. Going down, 6 hours later. Gotta do my 30-minute break again, right? Get to a truck stop or rest area, wherever it's gonna be, a store, wherever you're gonna park, where it's safe. Before you get down the truck, don't forget, put yourself on off duty. Add a notation. Break. You want to view log? It'll take you straight to your logs. There it is, break. Okay. I did my 30-minute break. Move the truck more than 5 miles per hour. Automatically, it's going to put me on driving. Now I'm going to get to a truck stop. I'm going to fuel again. Once I get to a fuel island, put myself on duty. Add a notation. Fuel. And safe. Alright. You want to view log? Go ahead and view log. Just to see how you're doing. Okay, yeah, my node did register, right? Perfect. I'll put my fuel. But you know what? I'm going to do my 10-hour break there. But you know what? There isn't really any parking. But you know what? There's a spot here where there's other truck drivers here. So I'm just going to park here. Put myself on SB. Okay. Add a notation? No, because SB means sleeping, right? So we already know you're sleeping. Now I'm just going to show you one thing. So as you can see, rest duration means it's at 00. I'm just going to wait till it gets to 1 minute so I can show you an example in case they come knocking on your door after 5, 6. It depends, whatever time. It can be an hour, 2 hours. But someone comes knocking on your door, an officer or security guard or an employee of the truck stop or whatnot, and tells you, hey, you cannot be parked here. Okay, it's a no parking zone, or you didn't see that it was a no parking zone, right? So they're making you move. But obviously you don't have no more hours to drive. If you move the truck, you already know it's going to put me in violation. You in it for 30 seconds that you move the truck or whatnot. You know. Now, a lot of drivers try to move the truck less than 5 miles per hour. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Because remember, what you see on your dashboard may not be the same what your transmission is reading. Okay? So be very careful with that. As you can see, I already have 1 minute there, right? They come knocking on my door. Let's just say that 1 minute is 7 hours. They come knocking on my door and tell me, hey, you have to move. Someone made you move? Okay. So you know what? I'm going to move so I can go and find a parking. Okay? A legal parking or whatever it might be. So before you even move, always remember, I mean, sometimes you might be half asleep, which is understandable. It's going to happen. Okay? That's when we come in. Let's say by accident you moved and because they made you move, that's fine. If it's something reasonable that we can fix, we'll do it. Or your DER will do it, sorry. So before you move the truck, go to view exemptions, go to personal conveyance. You're not going to activate yard move because you activate yard move, it's going to put you on duty. Because remember, yard move, you're not working. You're going to look for a parking spot because they're making you move. So that's not yard move. You're going to put personal conveyance. Okay? Remember, personal conveyance for personal reasons, right? You're going to go to Walmart, buy some clothes, buy some groceries, but you're going to come back. But this is a different situation. They're making you move. So I'm going to start it. You must enter a notation. Try to be as specific as possible, okay? If it's a security guard or officer, you know, just put here, officer made, or not made, right? But had me move from parking, all right? Or made me. Usually though, they're going to make you, right? Because they're telling you to leave. So, apply. Same thing as a yard move. Anytime you activate your personal conveyance, it's going to put in gray. So, there's no way that's going to put you on driving. Okay? And I'll tell you there, you're currently under personal conveyance exemptions. Okay? Now you can move and look for parking. Okay? Now, have you found a parking? Perfect. Okay? What do? You stop. You already found your parking. Now, it stayed on off duty. Always recommend put yourself on SB, back to sleep, right? As you can see there, it didn't even affect my rest duration because I was on personal conveyance. So after I found my parking, I put myself on SB again. That way they can see, okay, yeah, he did move, and then after he moved, he went back to sleep. Now, Mark, how far can I move on personal conveyance? Every company puts their limits. By federal regulation, they did not put a time limit nor a distant limit. Okay. Now they do go by a reasonable distance. Okay. I'm gonna say, me personally, over 50 miles, that's already illegal personal conveyance. That means that you're using it to advance your load or to get closer to your next pickup. Simple as that. Okay. Because remember, let's say you get to a truck stop and there's no parking, and you're gonna travel 70 miles north to find another parking. But 5 miles south, there's another truck stop. Hey, you could have gone 5 miles south to go find that safe haven. So be careful, okay? You do not always have to go forward to look for a safe haven, because there can always be a safe haven back south, okay? Just keep that in mind. So now I'm SB. I did my personal conveyance because they made me move, and it didn't affect my rest duration. Okay. Same thing, guys. If you're at a warehouse and they tell you to move, or the security guard tells you to move, just start your personal conveyance, put in detail your notes, and you should be fine. Okay. I'm gonna cancel. So I did my 10-hour break. Now, before I leave, I'm gonna do my pre-trip again, right? So what I do my pre-trip, I go on duty, add a notation right here, pre-trip, save. Now, is that it? No, remember, anytime you do your pre-trip or post-trip, you always got to register your DVAR. So as soon as you go on duty, you can get off your truck already, because you already know what you need to check, right? So get off your truck already, just leave it like that. Once you get back on the truck, then you can go back to certify and inspect, right? I say I already did my pre-trip. I did my walk around, check my tires, my brakes, my lights, my reflectors, make sure everything was good, right? Now I can go to certify inspect, certify pre-res inspection. I found nothing wrong again. I have a brand new truck, brand new trailer. Now if you did find something wrong, let's go to lights and reflectors, right? And we'll just see we'll just put there whatever you found wrong. It's very important. If you did find something wrong, record it. Okay, it can help you in an inspection, or for the next driver. Okay, they see, hey, you know what? I guess they didn't fix it. So when he does his pre-trip and he selects the vehicle you used to have, it's gonna show there that you have found something wrong. So before he or she leaves, he's gonna check, make sure they fix that problem. Okay. It's my pre-trip. No defects. Are you sure? Yes. So I did it for my truck. Now I'm going to do it for my trailer. Certified pre-res inspection. Same thing, pre-trip. No defects. Are you sure? Yes. All right. Now I can go back to HOS. You see, I don't have to go to dashboard. I can just go back to HOS, because remember, HOS, you're always going to use HOS. Okay. If you want to see your status, you can go to logs. And you can just check there. Okay, nice. I certified my pre-trips. I did it again in 1 minute again, my pre-trip. And I'm fast. So I go back to status. Now I can take off. I already did my pre-trip. Automatically puts me on driving, right? So I take off, same thing. Oh man, I need to do my 30-minute break, right? So I still have 7 hours and 4 minutes for my 30-minute break. I still have 10 hours and 55 minutes for driving. 13 hours and 4 minutes for my 14-hour rule, and I still got 69.21 for my 70 hours. If you want to view my recap, see, August 11, I had a total of 32 minutes. So going back to the recap, remember, by your 8th day, if you have not gone over your 70 hours, by your 9th day, guess what? On your 9th day, you're going to have the hours you have left, plus these 32 minutes that it's going to give you. Okay? That's how the recap works. It's going to give you whatever hours you had total on your first day you started working. Okay. again. 30-minute break. Let's say you got off. You forgot to put your notes, right? That's fine. You did your 30-minute break, you take off. Okay. You got one more fuel stop before you get to wherever you're going, right? I get to another truck stop. I'm at the fuel island. I go on duty. Okay, add a notation. Fuel. Save. Now it says here view log. You can view log or you can just go to logs, right? Whichever one. So let's say I go to view log. Okay, I didn't do it. Fuel. And then I noticed something. Oh shoot, I forgot to put my notes here. That's fine. Just click on the little off. Go down. Add a notation. Break. Save. Okay, if I go back down, there it is, break. It's always good to put your notes, guys. You know, it makes it easier for the officer if they do an inspection. The easier you make it for them, the easier it's going to be for you to, hey, okay, go ahead. Okay, don't make it harder for them. Don't make it harder for your safety either. Okay, when they're auditing your logs, they already know where you put fuel. So when they revise your fuel tickets or your fuel report and your bill of ladings, you know, it's going to be easier for them to find, okay, where you unloaded, because he put his note here, unloaded. Okay, let me check his bill or his fuel. Okay, it matches. Makes it easier for everybody. Okay, let's go back to status. I already put fuel. Now I can just take off. Okay, so now you're gonna unload. They were ready for you, right? You got there. And let's just say for example you picked up a load of used clothing, right? You're gonna drop the trailer there. They're gonna take days before they unload it. So same thing for unloading. You go on duty, right? So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna drop trailer or drop and hook. All right. So you put yourself on duty. Add a notation. You can put drop trailer, or let me see what, we'll just put drop trailer, right? Or drop and hook, however you want. You can put it however you want, drop and hook or drop trailer, right? And save. You go to logs, drop and hook. Okay, whatever time it takes for you to drop, you know, unhook the trailer and whatnot, leave the bill of ladings, that you're gonna be on duty. Okay. Once you leave the trailer there, now you can go back to the yard. You're driving back to the yard. Okay. I get to the yard. Now, before you leave your truck, or if you still had your trailer, let's say they unloaded you and you have your truck and trailer, before you leave your truck and trailer, always do your post trip. Okay? Do your post trip, that way, I mean, you never know if someone's gonna use the trailer you had or the truck you had. Hopefully not, right? Hopefully you have using the same trucks over and over, right? But you just never know. You always want to do your post trip. It helps the next driver, and it also helps the mechanic. That way, if you need to go ahead and write in a report of what you found wrong, because you never know, on the way from your drop and hook to the yard, probably something happened. A light went out, a tire was low, or whatever, an air leak, whatever it might be. Okay, you dropped and hooked the trailer, and by accident you pulled the blue air hose, and okay, well now they need to fix it, right? So that way you can see that you reported it, and the mechanic needs to fix it, right? So before I drop the truck and trailer, I go on duty, add a notation. Now I'm gonna put, instead of pre-trip, now I'm putting post-trip, right? Save. Now same thing for pre-trip, right? You have to register your DVAR. Now I'm gonna certify inspect. Okay, I'm gonna check everything. That's how everything I had to check. Now it's post-trip, not pre-trip, right? I found no defects. Nothing was wrong with my truck. Okay. Now, if you're bobtail, obviously you don't have your trailer, so there's no inspection to be done on your trailer. Okay. But let's say you do have your trailer and you're empty, right? So it's gonna be the same thing. You do your certification, post trip. I found no defects on the trailer. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Now I can go to HOS, status. Now I can go off duty, going home. I left the truck and trailer at the yard. I'm going home for my 34-hour reset. All right. If you want to put an annotation there, fine. If you want, by all means. If I want to put there, I'm going to put here 34 reset. Boom. There it is, 34 reset. I went off duty on August the 12th at 12:26 a.m. to do my 34-hour reset. All right. Now, what do I do now? Do I just close the app? I'm going to show you one thing, because if let's say I just close the app. Oh, okay, that's good. No. Always log out. Why do we log out? Let's say you left the truck in the yard and you're thinking you're doing your 34-hour reset. The mechanic gets on it and moves it. Well, guess what? It's going to activate your log. The electronic login device does not know that you're not on the truck anymore. It just knows that you're still logged in. Okay? So it's very important you log out, so that way if the mechanic does move the truck, it will not affect your hours of service. Or vice versa, you're going on vacation, another driver gets it, and then moves the truck before logging in or whatnot. That way it will not affect your log. Okay? Because if I open up the application, guess what? You're still logged in. If I click on my name, I'm right there. All right. So always log out. Now I'm going to show you one thing real quick. Let's say you're doing your post trip, right? And you didn't put yourself on off duty. I'm just going to go to log out, right? And it's going to tell you there on duty. So it should click, oh shit, I'm still on duty, right? But let's say you still didn't pick it up, right? So I go to log out. Now it's going to ask you, hey, do you want to go ahead and detach your trailers? Are you going to use this trailer again? Probably not. So I'm going to put an X. That way it will not appear when I log in again. So I'm going to take, okay, I'm not going to use that trailer. Shipments, always delete them every trip when you get home. Why? Because if you don't, they're going to keep on appearing on your log continuously. So for one day, you're going to have like 5, 6, 7 shipments. So always delete them before you log out. Now it's going to tell you, you have unverified logs. Do you want to verify them before proceeding? So it's going to let you know, hey, do you want to go ahead and verify? Sure, right? I'm not gonna work anymore. So you have two options. You can verify. Let's say you have more than 2 days. You can just verify one day and go one by one, or just go all the way down. Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna make sure everything's verified, right? So I go to verify all days. Are you sure? Agree. Now it says here you are currently in on-duty status. Choose a new status. So it will not let you log out on on-duty. Because on on-duty, you will not be doing your 34-hour reset. So that's the good thing about the application. Let's say you forgot, it's still going to remind you, hey, you're trying to log out on on-duty. So, okay, you see, it put me on off-duty. Now, I can log out. How do I know I logged out? It's when it takes you back to your login credentials. That's when you know you logged out. Now, you can go ahead and close your application. Okay, or turn off the tablet. All right. Thank you for your time. This is your GEO TAB 101 training. If you got any questions, go ahead and contact your DER. Remember the three most important things. 1, always have your tablet mounted. Always have your ELD manual. If you do not have it, ask for a copy from your DER, which is your designated employer representative, which will be your safety. Last but not least, carry your paper logs with you. You're not going to use them, but trust me, DOT is going to ask them for it. Okay? Thank you.